What's up, everybody? It's Mike B with Bombero Bus, and today we'll be working on my brother's bug. I'm going to start it out with a comparison of the new thick-walled 88 pistons and cylinders that he just ordered versus the thinner-walled ones from his 1641 engine that were the 87 millimeter pistons and cylinders. So I got them on the shelf back there. Let's get to it. Do you know that old saying, out of crisis comes opportunity? Well, that's what's happening here. We had a cam crisis where my brother's cam gear wiped out, and we put that in a previous video. And from that, the opportunity came to bump up his CCs a little bit. So these are the ones that were on there before, and they're the thinner walled 87 millimeter pistons. It's the 1641. Now, what he has here is the thick-walled 88's from AA, 88 millimeter piston, and it's going to bump his CCs up to 1679, aka the 1700. So I'd like to take a minute to do a comparison before we get these in. Let's start with these. Firstly, I've never held a set of these thick-walled 88's, and all I can say is they're beautiful. I love the black Teflon coating. The wrist pins just fit perfectly. The rings look good. It's a beautiful piston from, and it's a AA brand. When we look at this cylinder, we can easily see where they earned the name thick walls. I mean, those are pretty thick. I don't know the number on them, but when you do the comparison to these 1641s right here, you can clearly see how much thicker this thick wall set is, which I'm looking forward to. And not only is it going to increase the CCs, I suspect it should lend itself to longevity and heat dissipation, but mostly we want those CCs, so looking forward to getting these on. If someone wanted to talk bad about these, the only thing I could think they would say is this is really thin, but it's not. In comparison to the 1641, this is as thin as I thought it was going to be. And then the argument that saves them is that this, as you know, slips into the bore on the case and is kind of a moot point when it comes to it, being a problem when combustion occurs. The other beautiful thing is, now this isn't the case we're going to use. This is a case I have set aside for hopefully a future 1800 build, but it's a standard bore here. So these 88's, they slip right into that bore, and you get the extra CCs without having to bore your case, which is a problem for us. No one around here does it. The cost of shipping out a case, having the work done and bringing it back is expensive. So, this is the best, this is the natural evolution for our engines in this area. We're not going to get any casework done. However, you do have to increase the bore on your heads where this side goes in. So, luckily for him, he's going to order a new set of heads, and the reason why is when we tore his engine down, and I'll show you them in a bit, his both of his heads were cracked pretty bad and in a pretty bad place. Basically, they weren't able to be used again. So since he had to buy new heads, hey, why not just go ahead and get the ones bored for 92 and then order this thick wall set of pistons and cylinders and not have to bore our case and get 1700 build out of it. So that's where we're at. Wanted to give a quick look at them in comparison to the older ones, and we'll start moving forward on getting this top end built. So really quickly, I'm going to show you another discovery after pulling my brother's engine out. And if you can see these cracks right here where the valve guides go in, they're on that side, that's bad, and on that side also. Now, we've only been working on VWs for a couple of years, but we are mechanically inclined and we do know how to turn a wrench. Basically, we know enough to know these aren't going back in his car. Could he get away with it for a while? Maybe. And, luckily, he was able to afford a set of heads here in the near future, because he works in construction and I'm a firefighter, so there's not a bunch of extra money flowing around. But these cars are a testament, what we have are a testament to the possibilities if you are willing to do the work yourself. So I'll just go ahead on this tangent really quick. Without a lot of money, you can buy these cars as a shell. And if you're willing to do the work and, you know, save here and there, you can put these things together and, you know, on a meager income, you can enjoy the beautiful Volkswagen life, but you have to be willing to do the work. So this is where the learning process came in for us. We're a few years into it, and we're learning more and more every day. Watch a lot of videos. Very thankful to the YouTube community for the videos that they put out there. You probably know who you are. There's some really heavy hitters out there. And, you know, we're just trying to do our part to help that along. So anyway, back to the heads. Useless, coming out. And with that, he's going to order a set of new heads with the 92 bores on them. And that's going to lend itself to this 1700 build that we got going on. And you have to remember, all of this came just from hearing camshaft noise on this car while we were sitting at a red light. And then it got worse, and we knew what it was. The engine had to be pulled. Bam, let's get some bigger heads. Bam, we might as well try out the thick-walled 88's. So that is there's an example of the domino effect that can happen. Okay, to conclude this thick wall comparison, I would like to make an attempt at a very crude measurement. It's not going to be the most accurate way of doing it, but it's what I got. So I want to take a measurement of this thick wall here, get it as perpendicular as I can, and it's reading 4.81 as that thickness. Now over here on the 1641 engine, we had it's showing 3.49. That's 3.49. So that's the difference in the thickness of the walls between the two cylinders. I'm gonna flip them over and measure the thin side. And on the thick wall 88, we're getting 1.01 millimeters, 1.01. And over here on the 1641s, and again, this is really crude, but it's showing 1.24 millimeters. So there are the differences in the thicknesses. And again, the argument for this one is that, you know, even though this is thinner than this, since this is recessed into the bore of the case, it doesn't have very much of an effect on the performance or the combustion. So do I know this for sure? I do not, but we're going to run them and find out for ourselves. So you can check back and see how it's going. But for now, if you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. If you didn't, then leave a comment and tell me what's up. But either way, thanks for hanging out with Bombero Bus, and we'll see you guys on the next one.